Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, somebody pretty good at concussion, one of the best fighters out there, probably one of the best in history. Let him tell it, the very best in history, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao is known to have be an 8 division world champion, something that's unprecedented. Here, Doma, I call him a 6 division champion, right? So we're going to decide what we're going to call him. Now, the reason why I've looked at it again is because Manny Pacquiao has come out and he says, listen, no slight to Muhammad Ali, no slight to Sugar Ray Robinson, but I'm the GOAT. I'm the best of all time. Now, me personally, y'all know before I get in, because I don't like to fake y'all, because you can turn it off. You know what I mean? So I don't like to fake to the end, so y'all know where I'm coming from. Manny Pacquiao ain't the best of all time, and he ain't in the top 5 or 6, right? You have a doping cloud over you, right? But it's just a cloud, and the cloud is because when people ask you to fight and you don't want to fight because you're going to take random blood testing, that's an issue. A lot of people didn't like the coming up in weights and bringing the power with him. But hey, obviously it's possible. We're going to see if Terrence Crawford can do it. But, but, I don't like being called the very best. If he's the GOAT, then Marquez, right, is the best Mexican of all time because he gave the GOAT all he can handle in all 4 fights. There was never a one-sided fight in Pacquiao's way, right? Let's make sure. You had 2 of them with Pacquiao won. People had problems with it, split decisions. Then we had a draw in between that, and we had the knockout win for Marquez. So, with tooth and nail with Marquez. Your boy, you were in the same era of Floyd Mayweather, and then you lost to him. Manny Pacquiao, 62 wins, 8 losses, three draws. That's 11 fights with with not winning, and 3 times being knocked out with 39 knock KOs. He has about a 69% knockout ratio, right? Great fighter, but if he was an 8 division champion, then we could have a little conversation here because that's a lot of divisions. But I always say 6, and I would just say it just like this, is because let's ask yourself: do you count catch weights for a division? Because you're trying to say he's a division champion. Would you count a catch weight fight? Right? Trying to fight somebody and that other somebody has to come down and wait. Is that one would you account, seeing as though you're going to get credit for that division and win a title in that division? That's ask yourself. Would you count that one? I don't. Because we're saying you're going up to a division. That means you're going up to divisions. They're not far apart, guys. Especially them little ones where he started at. When you at 112, the next one's at 115. Then the next one's at 118. You know what I mean? And before 112, what is it, 108? They're right around the corner, right? So you can go all the way up to the division and get it, not no catch weights. So I don't count catch weights. And let's make sure we're clear. To today, does anybody count IBO titles? Are we counting IBO titles? I don't, because there's 4 titles which people of the past did not have, right? Because the WBO became significant about 25, 30 years ago. Before that, they didn't have the opportunity to get those. The ones that count are the WBA, WBC, IBF, and later the WBO. So the IBO doesn't count. His title in the super lightweight, 140 pounds, was an IBO title. That wouldn't count. Now, Manny Pacquiao at 112 pounds, he got the WBC fly, right? He won that per KO at 112. Then you notice at 122, he won the IBF World Super Bantam title, right? Per TKO at 122 pounds. That's 2. At the WBC Super Featherweight title at 30, he got a split decision win against Marquez. That's 3. Then he got the World Lightweight, right? 135 pounds. David Diaz, TKO. That's 4. 5 is the WBC welterweight. No, WBO welterweight against Cotto at 100. He was 145 pounds, so whatever. But he beat Cotto there. So that's 5, right? If you want to count 6, Then that would be the catchweight fight at 150 when he fought Margarito, right? Now that was for the 154-pound title. Margarito had to come down 4 pounds to fight Pacquiao. And we know how 4 pounds are. It depends. 4 pounds, we know how that is. Because nobody said, let me give you an example, a recent example for the new people. Ryan Garcia was 3.5 pounds overweight to fight Devin Haney because he didn't want to lose those last 3.5 pounds because they're crazy. 4 pounds is a lot in boxing. Let me give you an example. 112 pounds is a title, right? 115 pounds is a title. That's 3. 118 pounds is a title. That's 3. 122 pounds is a title. That's 4. 126 pounds is a title. That's 4. 130 pounds is a title. That's 4. So Marquez had to come down a damn weight division to fight Manny Pacquiao at a catchweight, and he gets credit for 154 pounds. I'm not giving him that. Not because we're trying to say he's, I'm giving him a win over Marquez, but can we say that Marquez is weight drained? Can't we? Right? Without any hate or anything. It's just the fact of the matter that extra 4 pounds, and and it's really extra for somebody who's used to fighting at 154, and they got to come all the way down to 150 just so he can have the title of I got another division. We're not doing that when it comes to legacy. You got the win, but the division, I think if you get credit for being a division champion, it should be at the weight because there's enough weight divisions. Do you understand? And we're just trying to do that. Now, Manny Pacquiao believes, he says, because he's got titles in 8 divisions, that he should be considered the GOAT. Now, that's because you guys, he probably doesn't even say this in the Philippines. He waits till he gets in New Russia, and he says stuff like that because he knows that they want to digest stuff like that, right? And he's not an 8 division champion. He's 5, in my opinion. It was 6 until you made me go back and look, because I'm not giving him the catch weight, right? And I'm not giving him. Now, you guys are probably asking, well, what if he was 112 to 122? What did he do at 115 to 118, right? All I'm going to tell you is look for yourself. Do you guys count international titles? Right? I don't know. International titles are there, right? But those are lesser. Means that there's somebody that's the real champion, and you're an international. It's like almost like, the WBA coming later with the regular title. You got some people that got gold titles. You got some people that's got a global title out there, right? You got all kind of stuff out there. It's only 4 that counts. So if we're counting internationals and starting to do just to give stuff because they know people don't look, right? Pacquiao knows what time it is, right? And so most of the people in the know what time it is. Now, I used to say he was a 6 division champion. He's 5, in my opinion, which is still awesome. But we don't have to keep telling this dude because now he's running around here thinking he's better than everybody else, and then got knocked out 3 times, got 8 losses, and was in a era where somebody got the nerve to be undefeated. And you go tooth and nail with Marquez. Now, does he have awesome wins? Ridiculous. Hell yeah. It's Manny Pacquiao, for crying out loud. Eric McRallis, Barrera, you're right. Come on now. And many, many others. Like, for example, Margarito, but weight drained. Cotto, he got him. He got a weight drained Oscar De La Hoya. Right, Oscar De La Hoya was a dead man walking, but he still beat him. See, because everybody wouldn't have beat a weight trained Oscar De La Hoya or a weight trained Margarito. So I don't want to say that, you know what I'm saying? Because he is still Manny Pacquiao. But all of this ridiculousness, he's not close to the GOAT. That would be Floyd Mayweather, the Sugar Ray Robinsons, the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Sugar Ray Muhammad Ali, who they say, or for me, Lennox Lewis, and stuff like that. I got Lennox Lewis beats up everybody who ever boxed, 2 out of 3. Because first of all, he's bigger than so heavyweight is the baddest one out there, and Lennox Lewis beats every heavyweight 2 out of 3 times in history because of his size and his prowess. He's the baddest one for me. And I know people are like, it has to be Muhammad Ali because Muhammad Ali did this and that. We're not talking about outside the ring. There's too many people that are lesser fighters than Lennox Lewis that gave Muhammad Ali all he can handle. Joe Frazier, Ken Norton, and the likes. And there's some more. You know, Ali had a lot of hard fights, but we have to give Ali also the benefit of the doubt. It took 3 years of his career for BS. So we want to put that in the equation. If Cassius Clay would have been able to go a little bit longer, yeah, there's some stuff. But I'm just saying, Lennox Lewis, we can't just ignore what Lennox Lewis did. Lennox Lewis was in a couple of hard fights. The Ray Mercer fight, woo, that was a hard one. He barely got squeaked past that one. Holyfield's second fight, squeaked past that one, but won it. Had a couple of fights, had 2 losses that he avenged. But at the end of the day, Lennox Lewis handled his business, right? But a lot of people try to act like they didn't see it. But back to Pacquiao. Pacquiao is only saying this because he's allowed to say this, right? Y'all, somebody besides me, need to set him straight. Bro, we like you. You're pretty damn good, but you're far away from the GOAT. And main thing is, you are not an 8th division champion. Not for real, right? Go back and do your homework on yourself. You know that it's not 8th division champions unless we're going to count catchweights, IBO titles, and international titles. If we're doing that, then it's a whole lot of people that got some damn divisions, championships. Go do your homework before you start screaming at me. You know what I'm saying? Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, y'all. And I'm up out of here.